The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has been a source of concern for the international community for several years now. Despite efforts by the United States and its allies to broker a peace deal, the conflict has only escalated, resulting in a full-blown war that has claimed the lives of thousands of people and displaced millions more. One of the most pressing issues arising from the conflict is Russia's attack on the Ukrainian people, which has been widely condemned as a gross violation of human rights. The right to life, security, and freedom from arbitrary displacement are all fundamental human rights that are being violated by Russia's actions in Ukraine. The bombing of civilian areas, the targeting of critical infrastructure, and the forced displacement of millions of people have had a devastating impact on the Ukrainian people. The human toll of the conflict cannot be ignored, and the international community must act to bring an end to the violence and protect the rights of the Ukrainian people. The United States and its allies have responded to Russia's attack on Ukraine by imposing economic sanctions on Russia. These sanctions are designed to put pressure on Russia to de-escalate the conflict and support a peaceful resolution. The sanctions have had a significant impact on Russia's economy, and have been criticized by some for their negative impact on ordinary people. However, the sanctions remain an important tool in holding Russia accountable for its actions in Ukraine and in supporting the rights of the Ukrainian people. The conflict in Ukraine has also had a significant impact on the region as a whole. The displacement of millions of people has put a strain on neighboring countries, and the continued violence has created a climate of insecurity and instability that threatens the stability of the entire region. The international community must work together to find a lasting solution to the conflict that protects the rights of the Ukrainian people and supports stability in the region. In conclusion, Russia's attack on the Ukrainian people constitutes a grave violation of human rights that must be addressed by the international community. The United States and its allies have responded by imposing economic sanctions on Russia, and remain committed to finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The world must stand together in defense of human rights and in support of the Ukrainian people, who have suffered for too long as a result of the conflict. The time for action is now, and the international community must work together to bring an end to the violence and protect the rights of the Ukrainian people. It is important to note that the conflict in Ukraine is a complex issue, and there is no simple solution. The interests and perspectives of all parties involved must be taken into account as the international community works towards a peaceful resolution. This will require sustained effort and commitment from all parties, including the United States, its allies, Russia, and the Ukrainian people themselves. The path forward may be difficult, but the ultimate goal of a peaceful and stable Ukraine, where the rights of all its citizens are protected, is achievable if all parties are willing to work together towards that goal. From tension to conflict, the historical roots of the Ukraine-Russia struggle. The ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia has its roots in centuries of historical tensions and political struggles. Understanding the historical context is essential to comprehending the events that have led to the current conflict, and the challenges that must be overcome to bring a lasting peace to the region. The origins of the Ukraine-Russia conflict can be traced back to the medieval period, when the territories that would later become Ukraine and Russia were divided between several different states and empires. Over time, these territories came under the control of various neighboring powers, including the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, the Ottoman Empire, and the Russian Empire. The latter had the greatest impact on the region, and by the late 19th century, the majority of Ukraine was incorporated into the Russian Empire. In the aftermath of World War I, the Russian Empire collapsed, and Ukraine declared independence. However, the new state was short-lived, and in 1922, Ukraine became part of the Soviet Union. The Soviet government pursued a policy of forced collectivization and cultural suppression, which had a devastating impact on the Ukrainian people. The famine of 1932 to 1933, known as the Holodomor, is widely considered to have been a result of Soviet policies, and is estimated to have claimed the lives of millions of Ukrainians. With the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Ukraine once again declared independence. The newly independent state faced significant challenges, including economic instability, political unrest, and ethnic tensions. However, over time, Ukraine made significant progress in building a democratic state, with a thriving economy and a strong civil society. The turning point in the relationship between Ukraine and Russia came with the Ukrainian Revolution of 2014, when massive protests erupted in the capital city of Kiev, leading to the ouster of pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych. The Russian government responded by annexing Crimea and supporting separatist movements in eastern Ukraine. The conflict escalated into a full-blown war, with Russian-backed separatists facing off against Ukrainian government forces. The conflict in Ukraine has had a profound impact on the region and beyond. The annexation of Crimea has been widely condemned as a violation of international law, and the ongoing violence in eastern Ukraine has resulted in thousands of deaths and the displacement of millions of people. The conflict has also strained relationships between Russia and the West, leading to a series of economic sanctions that have had a significant impact on the Russian economy. In conclusion, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia is rooted in centuries of historical tensions and political struggles. From the medieval period to the present day, the region has been marked by power struggles, cultural suppression, and economic instability. The events of the past few years are the latest chapter in this ongoing story, and the challenges that must be overcome to bring a lasting peace to the region are significant. The international community must work together to support a peaceful resolution to the conflict, one that respects the sovereignty of Ukraine and the rights of all its citizens. Only by understanding the historical context can we hope to overcome the obstacles that stand in the way of a peaceful and stable future for Ukraine and the region as a whole.